And welcome once again to Wandering Monster, America's test table, where we don't just stress test games, we stress test every possible internet technology that makes this thing work. My name is Charles R. Bernard.
Ian Servas.
I'm Bridget Brave.
I'm Mr. Paschke.
And as you might notice, a certain bearded gentleman, one of them anyway, is missing tonight. And we once again have the magnificent Bridget Brave sitting in. Super stoked to get to tonight's game. You out there in the tabletop community might be aware that there is a lot of controversy about licenses in D&D right now. Well, I want to let you know we will be dealing with medical and or occult licenses and a whole different category of D&D tonight because we will be playing doctors and demons. Or is it demons and doctors? Doctors and demons, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Now, this is a fun game because unlike many a witch hunting game, which is a genre that I, as a personally satanic and occulty individual, am not fond of, this game is about balance. And I think that's really great because in actual occult literature, philosophy, practice, balance is central to the art with an E. And in fact, the figure of the Baphomet that many may recognize and that I have tattooed on my body more than once, is
How many times do you
supposed
have that
to.
tattooed and where?
One is part of my upper arm sleeve, and then I have here them as part of one of my knee things. But at any rate, like all my tattoos are occulty and satanic. But the Baphomet, which was created by a gentleman named Eliphas Levi, not his real name, a person who John and I have talked about at great length, who was basically like faked being Jewish for occult cred. Not cool, but he did give us the Baphomet, which is cool because the Baphomet was meant to symbolize the resolution of opposites. The Baphomet is human and animal. It is male and female. It is holding one hand up and one hand down to symbolize the saying, the aphorism, as above, so below. And one arm is marked with solve and one with coagula, which essentially the correct translation is something close to come together or to come apart and come together. And those being like two occult principles of dissolution and solution. So, what does that have to do with tonight's game? Not that much, except that we'll be balancing the forces of light and darkness, or rather, of the ascendancy and the shadows, if I'm not mistaken. So, why
And
don't
hell seekers.
and
'Cause
Hellseekers? Yes. Tonight's game is a joint from Magic Cat Games, I believe they're called. And Ian, why don't you tell us a little more about it, and we can get right into it.
Absolutely. So thank you to Keller O'Leary for letting us play your game this evening. We have
Absolutely.
posted the links and we'll put them in the chat in just a little bit for you to get the game on itch so you can purchase a copy. And it includes the introductory module that we will start to wade ourselves into. So if you like, modern magic games, as Charles was saying, this is definitely a nice approach where you have one of the more interesting things about this game is that it uses a dice wagering mechanism. So the game runs on a series of D8s that you can wager to help you to overcome more challenging obstacles, but at a cost, because if you fail, you lose those D8s, and that also taps into your effective skill and your very life essence. So each class that they have represents a different occult tradition within the game, and they have different stats. It gives you different pools of them, and including, which I think is fun, an even non-magical class where you just get a whole bunch more d8s to balance out not having magical aptitude. So we are going to be playing the introductory adventure called House Call. And with that, we will go ahead and introduce our cast for the evening.
Uh, I'll go ahead and, as is required by graven tablets from on high, I'll go first. I'll be playing a caretaker named Sam. My character, I have no reason to hide this for character development since tonight will be brief. Both of my parents are actually magical users and they were oathbound. They did not pass their magical lineage on to me, but I'm totally cool with that. I'm a chill person who's just sort of like trying to get these knuckleheads to take it down a notch and like maybe stop demons and angelic type creatures from punching each other. I'm a peacemaker, is what I'm saying.
Now, just to, if I may, Pashki, since you are also still battling these internet gremlins, your class is an operative. So they are the
Yes.
people that are very much focused on maximizing the outcomes of their efforts, no matter what the costs are. One of the fun things, and Sam doesn't have this benefit because they don't have a magical tradition, is that in each of these classes, you can represent either the forces. The more infernal forces as the Hellseekers, or the more lawful but sterile ascendancy, being a little bit more angelic. And the intermediary of that are, of course, the Oathbound. So this class is the Oathbound, and it's really dedicated to preserving the balance between the forces and upholding that code. Um, all right, that all aside, so Bridget, we just talked like 20 minutes to lead you up to your dramatic intro.
It is dramatic. I'm Casper. I'm a scholar. I am a Hellseeker. I get it. I know I look like Gary Gygax, or I've also heard stoned Gandalf sometimes. That's when I get a lot. Whatever. Yeah, I started out in this just to dabble. I didn't really want to get involved with the Hellseekers, but I found the truth, and so I've stuck
Hmm.
around. Um, I'm always trying to balance the forces between heaven and hell because I admit that's something that's important. We have to do that. But I prefer when it works out for me. And also, just to get the Gary Gygax crap out of the way, I've never played Dungeons and Dragons. I don't know anything about the game. Please stop asking me.
I love it. So the three of you have worked with each other because all of you are residents of the city of Amherst, and practitioners, whether or not they are allied with one another, all know about each other to some degree
Hang on.
because
At like Amherst, Massachusetts? So, for those of you who may have missed an audio portion or two, our
Just two. That's it.
Oh, wow.
our
Um,
characters have received envelopes with juicy red seals,
On
kissable
old paper.
red seals on old paper that tell us that the answers to our queries, specifically regarding a surplus of missing persons of late, are at the library. So I think Sam, being a caretaker, probably real job is being an actual caretaker at a zoo, sort of like in the Mighty Boosh season one, like before they opened the store. And so I'm usually just like sweeping up out there, or like sometimes talking to the gorilla who can talk back. And and I decide that I'm going to go straight to the library to see what secrets might lie there.
and the other two of you.
Yeah, I'm going along because whoever left me this note clearly knows something. I need to know what's going on with this. Also, it said discount Gandalf. That's who he addressed it to. So I'm kind of pissed. So I'm in.
The real
Discount
question is, when
Gandalf.
you go to the
Yeah.
library, do you tell your friends you're off on an adventure?
So I don't have a whole lot of friends, but
Oh.
I did update my away status to say that I'm on an adventure. So
And what about you, Louise?
Oh yeah, Luis is going to the library, biblioteca. I'm not good at Spanish, but I imagine my character is.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, I put on my fancy shoes and grab my to-go bag of vinyl apron, and I head to the library as one normally does. That's common, right? That's what people take to the library.
I mean, when I
Absolutely.
go to the library IRL, I'm always careful to bring my vinyl butcher's apron in a bag because I never know when I'm going to need it.
just good planning.
Yeah.
So in the setting sun, it's easy to see the library as a grand structure with crumbling red bricks that are barely holding together under the weight of time. Even still, it stands tall in the middle of Amherst with panes of stained glass across the front, depicting a room of scholars writing and working, people who would be forgotten to history if not for their depictions here. You see that one really kind of stands out. A clear depiction of a woman in orange and green robes holding charred scrolls in one hand and stunning gems in the other.
Hmm.
Library is easily hundreds of years old, and there are clear and constant areas that have been renovated recently, proving that it's failing, slowly but surely. Two slabs of intricate stonework serve as doors, with one being propped open during its operating hours, which are soon to end for the day, as you see the sun setting behind the horizon. The three of you meet on its steps and here to investigate the secrets. As kind of a moment, how well do the three of you know each other? Are you friends, or any friendly rivalry between any of you?
I'd say friends and colleagues, but that's how I think of it. And I'm Sam the peacemaker, so
Yeah, I like getting info from these guys. More of acquaintances than anything.
I mean, I haven't scammed these people that they know of. So,
not that we know of. Hey, so the woman with the you said it was orange and green cloak and the burnt scroll and the gems. Since my parental units were oath bound themselves, what's the chance that I would know who that is from my upbringing?
That is a very good question. So you would be needing to make the first roll of the evening, and let me see what your knowledge. So you don't have the same knowledge skills as other
Hmm.
people, so this is going to be even more difficult. But go ahead and make me a difficult, or make me a mental check. So in
Okay.
this, usually, except with that flub there, you won't know what the difficulty of a check is unless your character class allows you to know that,
Hmm.
and you're going to wager. You either roll the set amount of mental dice you have, and then you can wager additional dice. So for your character, Sam has one permanent mental die. Would you want to wager any of your additional dice? You can
Nah,
wager up to
nah.
five.
I don't care that much, so I'm just gonna wager one. Let's see what I get. Ooh, and that is a 6.
All right. So you try to think about it, and you think about a specific story or maybe something that you've heard about this figure, and nothing really comes to mind. If anything, think about stories about maybe the founding figures of this town, but anything really kind of escapes you. Maybe one of your colleagues might know something more about these historic figures that are represented in the stained glass.
Who's got the occult wisdom?
Let's see. I would think I do, but I don't see it on mine.
So if you look down under your abilities, you have different pools of knowledge. You have cursed, hidden, and great. So your cursed knowledge helps you to know more about the hell seekers and that side of the infernal world. Hidden, which is about the shadow world, and then great, which is related to the ascendancy. So if you would like to prove that you're not just a generic Gandalf and that you really know your salts, would you like to make a mental check as well,
Yeah, I just
Casper?
did. It did not go great. It was a 3.
You just decided to roll one die. You didn't want to
Yeah, just
wager any
one.
additional.
I
All
didn't
right,
want to start
fantastic.
burning it early.
All right. So it doesn't really catch any of your fancy, um, but perhaps maybe you'll learn more things as you start to explore. That's kind of more of a cursory thing as you're advancing to the library.
Cool.
So the three of you then enter inside the library, and as you advance up the stairs inside, you see that there is a security desk with a officer that's sitting in his little wheelie chair, large bulk frame, almost as equal amount as muscle as flab, feet propped up on the desk and chewing something very noisily. It's kind of fruity smell, almost kind of like gummy worms or maybe cotton candy. Um, and he watches you idly as you start to advance up the stairs.
Does Fago make bubble gum?
They do have a cotton candy flavor, but Fago.
Fago, yeah. But I was wondering if they make actual Fago flavored gum. I'll have to look into that
That would
later.
be interesting.
Cotton candy is
Opportunity.
like best flavor of Fago, by the way.
Oh,
Hmm. Okay. I'm on top of this, guys. Actually, no. You know what? I'm not sure this guard will know jack shit about what we want. Yeah, let's maybe just bypass him and go scan things.
Yeah,
Describe
I think alerting the guard to anything we might be looking for might be a bad idea in general.
yeah, maybe just give him a friendly wave as I saunter in.
Just normal library goers.
he shakes the crumbs off of him, takes his feet off the desk, and makes himself look presentable, and then gives you a hearty nod. You can see that his greasy, slick back hair doesn't seem to move at all as he nods as you walk into the library, and he says, kind of like swallowing like a mouthful of something. Just don't forget we close in 45 minutes, so make sure that you don't linger after hours, since everyone should get home. Those disappearances are just they're happening all over the place.
You got it, brother.
Ooh, the voice makes an appearance.
Yeah, it's Sam, gentle Sam.
Gentle Sam.
Yep, with the wide shoulders. All right. Okay, in we go. Is this a one-story library or a multi-story library?
This is a multi-story, so there are 3 stories to this library. Maybe some of you have even been in here before. The library itself, again, because it's a very old library. In fact, it's almost in the center of the town, as if it was originally perhaps one of the founding buildings of the town, and the town sprang up around it. So it's a historic institution, but it's in pretty bad disrepair. In fact, when you enter inside the interior, the first floor is just almost like a massive open space. There's very little that's in this space. You see that there's empty shelves along half the side of the library and some jumbled up books on the other, and there's lots of drop cloths. Looks like there is a lot of renovation happening on this floor. There's some carts of books. In fact, you see one man that is busily looking at the books that are on the cart and comparing them to what's on the shelves and scribbling things in a notebook and kind of just looking over the empty racks and all of the things being fixed, and just has a big sigh and goes back and does the process over and over.
Does he look like an employee or yeah, obviously. Okay.
He's
All
got
right.
mm,
Go
he's got
ahead.
that very much bookish look that librarians tend to have.
Oh
It's
man, you
part
haven't
of
met that many librarians, have you?
I was leaning into a stereotype. I have plenty of librarian friends who would murder me right now for just saying, yeah, they look bookish with those nerd-like features. No, if you're a librarian and you're listening to this, thank you for your service, helping the public with
Like
so
if
many
that
things. We
person
love you.
had blue hair and 4 piercings in one ear and 2 PhDs, I'd be like, yeah, that's a librarian.
Yeah,
You know?
that's absolutely true. No, this figure looks to be a young man, um, pretty well dressed, has a vest and a very kind of bedraggled appearance to him. Like there's a lot of stress and unkempt hair. Um, and he notices you come in and stops scribbling in his notebook. Just watch to see what you're going in or what you're doing. There is a staircase that will take you up to the second floor, as and also a rust-colored elevator that would also maybe take you up to the second floor, or maybe get stuck halfway between floors. Um, but otherwise, you see that there are uh, there's plenty of light still coming in from the fading sun through the painted windows and the large hallways that extend in different directions.
Do you guys want to split the party? Because I can handle Mr. Bookshelf guy.
Yeah, I'll take one of the hallways. I'm not really interested in dragging myself up the stairs right now. Old Casper's knees aren't what they used to be.
I'll go upstairs. Unless there's a basement. If there's a basement, I'm totally going in the basement.
Yeah, there is a basement that you can go in, and you also can have access to the second and third floor.
Noted that Louise has a death wish. So for the basement.
Or just like, I'm sure there's some sort of word for loving of basements, a dash philia. I might even have a bit of it. Anyway, so like I am going to use my let's see, positive presence skill. I, however, would rather say that I have an authoritative personality than an authoritarian one. I'm not sure if that was a typo, but it said I had an authoritarian personality, and I was like, "Oh, I don't want to play Sam that way." So I'm just going to approach the guy with the books and be like, "Hi, I'm Sam. I've been coming here since I was a kid, and I was just wondering, like, I've never seen so much renovation, and I'm wondering what you're doing with the books. I like the books, and I'm hoping they're not gonna do anything bad with the books."
Oh, the guy clears his throat. You can see he hasn't taken any self-care time in a while, and he goes, "Sam, it's a pleasure. But my name is Reed. I waived your late fees last time that you were
Oh
here.
yeah.
Um, I know how much you love Doctor your Zeus and all of those other colorful books. Uh, we're doing a lot of work here. Funding hasn't been great, and the renovations have been slow, but we are very committed to taking good care of the books. It's just we're we're really short on staff. The disappearances really have people worried, and lost a lot of staff lately. Both we've lost staff, and then people have quit, and
Ah,
I'm I'm real I'm real afraid. And so, we're gonna close tonight, and then I'm just worried I might even have to shut down the library for a couple of days until all this sorts out.
I'm gonna give him a tentative squeeze on the arm and be like, "Oh, I'll be okay. We're all in this together, man." And then kind of wander away. So books are eating people. That's cool. Possibly, maybe. It's a theory.
Have you read any Sutter Kane lately?
Hmm.
um, so did you use this squeezed his arm and walked off, or
Yeah.
or
I'm gonna just kind of keep trailing around. Maybe catch up with one of my. I'm gonna go after what's Pashke's character's name again?
Louise.
Louise?
Louise. I'm gonna go after Louise probably because basements are rad, and also people going missing concerns me about Louise down in the basement.
And as while you are taking a look, Casper, going down through these hallways, you see various art on the wall representing various historic scenes of Amherst, and uh, I have lots of type of archival photos, black and white. The thing that really kind of takes your eye is this large portrait that's on the wall of a woman with a little placard on it that says Mary Bellick. And it has a placard on the side that talks about it being one of the town's founders. Um, the thing that really piques your curiosity is that this woman looks very strikingly like the one that's on the painted windows outside with that
Hmm.
orange and green dress motif.
Hmm. Yeah. So
Hmm.
how? Uh, I know this guy wanted us to split up, but I'm feeling like this painting should probably get some close attention. I'm. Can I see if there's a way to open the painting? Maybe does the painting look secure to the wall? Is there it in a frame?
Okay, so as you start to poke on it, it comes off almost like too easily, and you see that it's just being held with a rusting wire on the back, and you can tell as you've taken it off the wall that it hasn't been moved in quite some time. There's layers of old paint that are behind it that they've just painted around this and just not moved it. It's
That's
very dusty.
interesting. Is there anything on the back of the painting?
You see the artist's signature and the date of when it was painted, and it looks like this portrait was painted 75 years ago.
All right. Can I go back into the main library area? I think this might be a good question for our librarian friend.
Sure. Are you taking the painting with you or putting it back?
It's pretty large. I'm probably not going to haul it all the way down with me. I'll put it back, and
Okay.
then
And this would be a perfect opportunity for someone to shoehorn like a mage hand joke, since Casper has never played D&D, and no.
that would
So,
just tick him off. He'd be so ticked by that. Yeah, just
so you go back to the librarian who's still sorting books and sighing and to himself. And what is it that you ask of him?
I'm wondering if he has any information, maybe a book on Mary Bellick.
Um, he and coughs and takes a dry swallow and goes, Barry Bellick, books. We have some reference tomes on the third floor that deal with the town's history. They're the old books, some of our more archival ones that still get requested for the historical society. So, yeah, it's on the third floor.
Of course, it would be on the third floor. Okay. Can I use this? Just the skill looks so interesting. I want to give it a
Yes,
go. Can
please.
I use, where was it? The pinpoint.
Yes.
And I'm going to sacrifice one of my dice for it. So I can
All
do two.
right. So you're using the pinpoint ability, which is with a successful mental test, you can pull a word of importance from a target, like you're reading the surface of their mind. So you don't need to burn a point yet. You basically can make a mental test, and
Okay.
so you, Casper, have one die in that, and you can wager up to you've got up to six that you could wager on top of that. How many would you like to wager, or
I'll
you could
just
just
wager
roll one?
one with
Okay.
that.
So you're gonna roll 2d8 and let me know what your results are.
It was a 10.
Oh no, I mean they're gonna be separate. So give me
Okay.
your
So it is a 5 and a 5.
a 5 and a 5. So you do get a word that floats on the top of his mind, and there's a deep pain and feeling of sorrow, and it's page, like the name, not like part of a book, but
Hmm.
a name. And as you scrape that off of his mind, he looks at you with this very sharp gaze, and he stares at you, and you think he suspects something, but he takes a step back and just like he's trying to figure you out. Ex-
Uh-oh.
what
He's
what
a
did you
fellow
say?
psychic.
What did you say?
I didn't say anything.
I thought you said something. And he looks confused and distracted for a second. He goes, things are just getting weirder and weirder around in this place. Maybe they just haven't slept. But he looks very suspicious at you. What is it you want?
I'm just looking for the book on Mary
Look,
Bellick.
Bellick. Yeah, third floor. Go. Yeah, we're running out of time. The library's going to close soon, so you better make it fast.
All right. Can I shout down the stairs to let them know I might have a lead?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
So, Luis, you've gone down into this basement, and it is damp smelling, which instantly is kind of the fear of many a good librarian for
Yeah.
getting foxfire and other things. They're mopping of your books, and it looks as you start to advance down these steps that you can see the old part of the building, like whatever like the bones that made this first building are here. What's really kind of making you uncomfortable is, besides the smell of earth and loam and fetid water, like water seeping in through the foundation, is a cloyingly sweet smell, like cotton candy or sponge sugar or something that's shouldn't be there.
It's that Fago flavor I've been craving.
Yeah.
Spilled cotton candy Fago down here.
Okay. I don't know.
So, from your view, as you're going down the staircase, it's pretty open. There is basically a corridor that's going to run the length of the building, with some rooms off to the side. You can see on one side of this hallway where the bottom level of the elevator is, and there's the rusted, expandable metal grate that's across it. Um, but you definitely get the smell of mildew and candy down here.
Hmm.
And while you're here, um, no, you don't have that. All right. Um, you are a little bit unnerved by how dark and deep the shadows seem down here.
Okay. Yeah, I got nothing. I don't know. I'm just drawing a blank.
So while you're down here, make me a mental check. Now, again, I'm not going to keep reminding us each time, but this is whenever I invite you to make a check, you to tell me how many dice you're going to roll. So your characters have a normal automatic amount of dice. So for you, Louise, you would roll at least two eights because you have 2 permanent points in your mental skill. But you can always let me know if you want to wager additional.
No, I rolled a 1 and a 3.
All right. So you see something like flicker or glimmer coming from one of these open doorways on the hallway, and you hear someone calling your name. And it's
Okay.
not just like Louise Alvarado, it's your full name. With it has like your mother's name and your grandparents' name. It's the full, like, 7 to 8 part long Latinx name.
Okay. Do I
You
recognize the voice, or is that new sounding?
you're not sure, but you think it's familiar, like someone that you know and trust. Like it, you.
Oh, okay. Hello? Yeah, that's me. Cousin? Aunt?
Yes,
The homeless
come.
guy down the street that I got drunk and talked to that one time?
Yes, you come into the shadows.
You just said yes. I stated 3 different people.
Yes, come into the
Uh,
shadows.
I do like shadows.
Um,
I
Louise is Trixie.
cautiously moving towards the voice.
so as you're doing this, Sam is coming down the stairs after you, and shortly after Sam is coming down the stairs, you're also starting to hear Casper shouting something down, but your family's down here. They want you to come visit them.
Hey, hey Sam, come here. It's my cousin and homeless guy that I know. Have you met them? You want to come meet my cousin and homeless guy?
So it's not my first rodeo, and I do actually have like bulging muscles that I don't show off according to my character description, but that definitely show. Yeah, that was a very thirsty description of my character. Thank you, Ian. Um,
I do my best.
yeah, yeah, it got me revved up. So I would like to gently but firmly, while saying like the people that you know, including a itinerant individual that you don't know that well, are not down here in the shadows. In fact, I think I'm gonna have to take you upstairs, please. And I'm just gonna haul his ass out of there physically. So that's I'm imagining a physical check, or do I? Is it like combat between me and him?
So your friend is trying to pull you from your family to, like, Go ahead and make me a social roll, Sam, to see if you
Oh,
can convince your friend as you're polling him.
guess what?
And if not,
I've already done my routine presence. Never mind. Okay.
but
Uh,
I didn't
let's
really. Wait.
see.
When did you use your routine presence?
I thought I used it to. Oh, I didn't. I rolled on that one. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna use my routine presence. I'm gonna pass this check for
Okay.
free and take a point. It says on social, right?
Yes. So you're
But
going
I
to.
but I can grow that back if we have
That's
a
correct. When
round
you
for
have a
rest.
rest.
Yeah.
So what Sam's doing is using the ability called routine presence, which is something that's very interesting about the caretakers that they exude a natural kind of authority, but or they're just so, or also kind of so melted into the shadows that people accept what they say.
Right
And
this
so
way, sir. It's that vibe.
exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
So
So I'm gonna right this way, sir. His ass back up the stairs.
So Louise, like you have this very weird feeling of almost deja vu or just and vertigo almost at the same time as you're feeling this compulsion to go into the shadows, and then this almost equal compulsion to pull you out of it as your very strong friend grabs you by the
Ooh,
arm
it's the
and
game in a
commands
nutshell.
and pulls you at the same time. So Casper, you've been yelling down the stairs, and you see that Sam is dragging a kind of a foggy-eyed looking Louise up the stairs who looks like he's just kind of getting out of a funk or a fugue. And
And
so
I'm
that
gonna
the
I'm gonna info dump and say like
I talked to a librarian and people are going missing like in the library, including staff. The guy with the books is real sad about the staff going missing. And then just down there in the basement, I think Louise's like dead relatives were gonna pull him into the shadows, but I stopped that shit.
Oh, so you saw something. I mean, something's talking to you from the shadows down there.
It could
Oh,
have been my cousin. It could have been my aunt. It
you
could have
know,
been a homeless guy. I
do you
don't.
want me to come down there and look? Because I can see into the shadows.
ooh, cool. That's
I
a
mean,
cool ability.
if it's the homeless guy, I really like. I think he owes me $5.
All right. Well, I could check it out for you.
Let's all three of us go back down. So I have a question, Ian. The
yes.
caretaker class, because I don't have any magical abilities, am I like not necessarily a blunt like in 40K, but am I more or less immune to like influence like the type that he was feeling down there?
No, not necessarily, but you
Okay.
could be more resistant in some capacity in the fact that you have more dice that you can wager. So you could run it like that if you so choose, but you do not like you're not a null basically.
Okay, cool. All right,
So
got it.
all right, so you're going back down there, the three of you?
Yeah, I'm gonna
Yeah,
peer into
Okay.
those shadows.
I want to
All
see
right.
what's in them shadows.
So are you putting on those lenses, Casper, as you're
Yep,
advancing
I'm
through?
gonna wear my midnight lenses.
So
Cool.
so Casper is wearing the midnight lenses that allows them to look in the reflection of their glasses and see the shadow. So that's a pretty powerful relic. The one downside is when you gaze into the abyss, of course, it can gaze at you. So when you put your glasses on, you instantly kind of get that sense of gut-watering vertigo as you kind of snap between worlds and you see the shadow realm. It's very much like the realm that we have, but everything is slightly off, dark, twisted, shadowy, misty at the same time. And as you are well aware, Casper, that things that you do in the shadow realm may not affect the real world, or if it does, it may be a slight echo by spending lots of magic or having powerful items the actions you do in the shadow realm can affect the real world. So it's when you're kind of in between worlds or in the shadow world is where you really interact with those things and they can interact with you. So you put on your glasses and you see in that area that Louise was talking about, this kind of a room off to the side of the hallway, you see a little flicker of like purple and blue. And just kind of like it's a brief thing that it comes and it goes out of sight for a second. Um, Roll me a great knowledge check. So basically, what you're doing is you're doing a mental check for me to kind of identify what this thing is from a very small, quick glance.
All right, now I'm gonna do 3.
Okay.
So I got a total of 16. A 7, a
you're
6, and a 3.
7, 6, and a 3. Fantastic. That's what I need. So it moves really quick at first, and you realize that this thing is trying to evade your sight. It seems to recognize that you're wearing glasses, and after a while, it realizes that you are just going to see it no matter what. There are a pair of these creatures that have multiple sets of eyes and little wings. They're almost, in a way, at first you almost mistake them for being pixies, but they are a completely different creature altogether. You know that these things are from the Ascension, and they're everlings. They're these little itty bitty sprites that do bidding from other creatures from the ascendancy for small tasks, almost like the ability that you have, Louise, to make like a little shadowy imp that follows your orders. Um, and same thing with you and Casper. It's like the ascendancy's version of that. They are a little bit almost trickstery in the way, but not maliciously. They just are doing what they're told to do, and they will do. They'll use their abilities of illusion to make that happen.
Why is the Ascendancy stealing fucking souls? Sorry, that was a Charles question, not a Sam question.
Okay, I was going to say.
Sam would just be
I
like,
haven't even told you what I saw yet, Sam.
What was
so-
this?
yeah, no. That's a Charles question. Yeah.
No, so, Louise, I admittedly was not paying attention when you told us about your family history, but unless you're adopted, I do not think that's your family in the shadows. I also don't think it's the homeless guy that you got drunk with. These seem to be basically, the little fetchling imps from the Ascension side.
Oh yeah, like that, and then I like you said, I can manifest one of those, right?
I
Ian?
can too. Yeah.
Yes. So you get to really tell what type of form it takes, or how it looks. It could be either the same creature every time you use the ability, or it could be like a rotating cast.
Dude, so make it a centaur, except the lower body is a pig instead of a horse.
Pigtar?
Yeah, pigtar.
It's going to be tiny, so it would be a tiny pigtar.
Awesome. Even better.
Sold.
Yeah, a tiny winged pigtar, with an afro. But the afro is green.
I want this action figure so bad.
So yeah,
So are you choosing to use that? Are you going to be casting that?
Yeah, I mean, if there's
Alright.
two like evil things that are trying to get me to go over there.
I mean, they're from the Ascension side, so I'm not really sure what their intent is here.
Oh, I'm just assuming
Yeah,
evil.
in
That's
fact,
my
okay.
bad.
So as a caretaker, my whole deal is resolving and/or preventing conflict between parties in the shadow non-shadow interplay, let's call it. So the fact that I don't have any magic, I can't see these things, right?
The only person that can see them right now is Casper with their glasses.
And I can't interact with them. Okay.
But Louise does have an ability that they can use to open up the barrier between worlds and make a gateway for all of you to go into the shadow, if you
Ooh.
so choose.
I mean, the library closes in like probably 35 minutes now. I'm all for Shadowgate.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. I bet the shadow library never closes.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's about to open.
Shadow,
like
yeah.
Open. Yeah. Okay.
So, Louise, are you electing to then use your doorway ability and open a portal to the shadows? Is that what I'm hearing?
That is in fact correct. I will be opening a portal to the shadows.
And describe to me, and feel free to wildly gesticulate or pantomime, what are the arcane sounds and wild movements you do to tear the barrier between worlds?
I mean, you see like Louise crack, loosen up, get a little limber, rotate his head, and then like get ready to like crouch down, and then he just pulls out his knife and goes against the wall and physically rips it open.
Just like Erebus. I love it.
Casper, you get this like blasting like feedback through your glasses as you're using real world glasses to look in the shadow realm as the shadow realm gate opens into the real world, and you kind of get that mirror infinity thing at first.
Yeah.
That's just like really
Ooh.
disorienting.
Yeah, those things are off now. That was awful.
So you have a gateway that all of you can step in, or all of who's stepping in through into the shadows.
Definitely me. I want to go talk to those things.
All right, Casper, are
I'm
you
also fine
joining
with
in?
Sam going first, so I'll go right behind him.
Okay.
Then.
So all of you then go full into the shadows, and it's like you've just plunged into an icy pool. There's that shock that takes your breath away for a second, and you feel goosebumps going all across your flesh until you kind of normalize back into it. Everything kind of has that weird, muted, echoey kind of feel at first until you fully acclimate. And those little winged creatures called the Everlings, you have the two sets of fluttering wings, four eyes, and purplish skin, and they all have this kind of unsettling smile across their face, and you can't quite tell exactly if it's mischievous or devious or if they're just really happy to see you, but they're flittering back and forth, kind of muttering to themselves as you've kind of come in here.
Cute little
And
guys. Do
one
they
of them,
speak? Do they speak English?
yeah, they speak all kinds of things, especially one kind of flits right up to you and goes, "Hey, what are you doing?"
I'm gonna tell them, hey,
Oh, hey, guy! I'm a caretaker, and I'm very worried that you've been like stealing human souls down here.
Oh,
And
no,
I
no, no, no,
want,
we're not stealing. We're borrowing souls.
can you tell me what's up with that?
Maybe. Uh,
yeah, I'm
and like,
gonna like I can't use that or I guess I can use that again if I haven't healed my point back, have I?
no.
Huh, do I want to spend another
Would
one?
my
Well,
sheep's
so
clothing work with them?
you've got, you could, yes, you've got 2 points of mental. You could do it again, Sam, and you could even use your soul dice if you so choose to use that ability. It's
Oh
not once
shit.
per day. That's your still standing is your once per day.
Okay, then
So
I'm gonna eat up those soul dice. Yeah, I'll do
yeah,
another routine presence and be like just do my like I'm an official care like
sure. Now,
Excuse me, I'm a representative of the caretakers, and I am oath bound. I would like you to explain the situation to me, good sir, and please do so in a succinct manner.
is that pretty
okay,
good?
I'll sure. I was going to say, Casper, are you wanting to use your sheep's clothing at the same time, or wait to see how things
I'm
shake
gonna
out?
wait and see how this
Okay.
plays out. Yeah.
Sam, as you pull your routine presence and you kind of draw on that authority that you've learned from your parents, I love everyone that chats like Kermit.
It's actually Carl Sagan. No, wait, it's who was the other one I said? Jim Henson, Carl Sagan, or George Lucas. It could be any one of those.
It's
Right.
all of them. I still imagine it in a Vin Diesel body because
Yeah.
I love it. So the little creatures kind of flitter and mutter something back and forth, and he goes, "Yeah, so we're gathering souls. You're absolutely right. So we're not hurting people. We're just giving them an opportunity for something much better for them."
Is it
You
like to invest in neutral life? Is that what they're down here doing?
um,
We have
are
an
you
exciting
are you
opportunity for
making
you to buy into our. I'm not. This is Charles. This is
okay?
Do not mock
Sam.
the celestial
Casper
beings.
Casper would tell you that these are very sensitive creatures. They
Yeah,
don't
I'm
like
not gonna.
social slights, and
No.
it'd be very bad if you were to mock these little things.
No, but
Uh,
I will ask a follow-up question and just say,
Well, that sounds very exciting. What kind of opportunity?
oh, and then they both kind of turn and say at the same time with that weird smile, "Happiness. We take you to
okay.
the House of Gold.
Oh shit. House of Gold.
House of Gold."
Who's got so I'm back in Charles mode now. Who's got occult wisdom in our group?
If only
'Cause-
there was a character class of a scholar.
Yeah, that's me.
No,
Actually, I'm kidding. I need these. I can't see what I'm doing. All right.
Oh, I wasn't meaning that. I wasn't meaning as a jab against you, Bridget. I was just meaning it like facetiously, and like we conveniently have.
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
going to
yeah, yeah.
say, I know I've got something for this, but I had
Um,
comically taken off my glasses to make a
oh,
point, and I couldn't read my sheet any longer.
so you have, Bridget, you've got a couple of different things that you could use. Excuse me, there, Casper. You have various bits of knowledge. Well, I mean, you have the most options probably of almost anyone. You have ancient orders that will basically make you compel a target to do an action. You could use that pinpoint against a character to scrape something off their mental surface. You even have your sheep's clothing that helps you to mask yourself as a trusted figure that that character would be familiar with. So um, you've got some options, and knowing your personality, what feels like a good fit?
I think I'm going to command, honestly.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I'm going to use my ancient orders to take us to the. Let's go see this. Is it Gold House? Is that what we're calling
House
it?
of
House
Gold.
of Gold.
House of Gold. Yeah, let's go see this House of Gold.
Um, and you're using your ancient orders.
Yes.
Okay. So go ahead and actually, they're going to go ahead and roll to resist. And both of them go, yeah, sure, yep, House of Gold. And they lead you out of the basement and out toward through the hills.
What's the
As
shadow library like?
but about to mention that you see that no one seems to notice you. You see that that disheveled librarian is talking and having some pretty heated words exchanged with the security guard about missing people. And look, now you've lost another 3 people. What the hell is wrong with you? We're going to fire you tomorrow. You search this building from top to bottom and make sure those people are out of here, or where they've gone to. As you walk out of the library, when you look at the Shadow Realm version of the city, there's definitely a lot of distortion and differences here. But there's something peculiar that none of you have seemed to have noticed before, even with your casual uses of the glasses, Casper, is that in the distance in the woods, there is a sprawling gold estate. It almost looks like a mansion, and as you're looking at it, it's shimmering gold. And in the corner on the second floor of this building, you see like the building's expanding. You actively are watching it bud like a fungus, and all of a sudden there's another room just attached to the second floor, and light flickers, and you see movement going in this place. It's slowly almost expanding more and more.
I
And
have a hunch that those bulbous extrusions,
That's fun to say in that voice.
bulbous extrusions,
almost extrusion. No, I can't
Yeah.
do it.
that those are fresh souls being added to the House of Gold.
That's all. That's just my Sam insight.
So, are all of you still then following these creatures to the House of Gold?
Yeah, I'm not real thrilled about the multiple stories because again the knees, but Casper's also got student loans, so House of Gold. Let's go check this out. Yeah.
I do. Do these creatures appear to have pockets?
They're if they well they're not really wearing clothing, but
Okay.
I mean everyone's got a nature's pocket, but I don't I don't it'd be a very tiny pocket.
I mean, so it sounds like there's really no. Okay, so one of my character's abilities is I can pick someone's pocket, and it sounds like it's either going to be insanely difficult because of their size, or there's not much in there to get at. So,
Or it's
question
going to be
answer.
really inappropriate. It sounds like.
Yeah. So let's move on. Yes, I'm following.
And the entire time you're like trying to see if they have pockets.
Yeah.
I
Just,
like so Actually, on the OBS, there is a little picture that you'll see of like a pixie with wings. With if you're watching our video recording, holding two little scepter-like items, almost look like push pins or like little
Hmm.
pins. That
That's
is the
also on
creature.
our "We're Live" announcement on our socials for
Yes, it
tonight. Yeah.
is. So that is
Mhm.
the creature. The two of these that are guiding you. So this would normally be a long walk through town, through this kind of forest towards this thing, but the distortions of the shadow make it seem like it's a fast jaunt. You're not even out of breath. If anything, you must feel refreshed as you're kind of just gliding through this strange place.
Lucky
Um,
Casper.
uh, as you've arrived at the house of gold, it just seems to be shimmering like it is made of solid gold. There are some two very large, um, as it states. So it is the house itself looks to be made of golden bricks with wind and its window with crystal panes. It shimmers with a dazzling yellow hue in the dark sunlight, and it stands 2 levels high, close in size to mansion than a house. From the squared attic window, you can see there is a brilliant yellow light that flickers and moves about. Aside from the decorative crystal windows, the only entry point seems to be a single golden door at the front with a knocker on it that's in the shape of a heart. Yeah, it's in here. This is it. Pretty neat.
Pretty neat.
Yeah, that's what I said. It's pretty neat.
It is extremely neat. Thank you very much for showing us. We just knock on the door here.
Yeah. Well, let the boss know you're here.
Thank you.
So Charles mode now. I guess we don't have psychic communication, do we?
Who wants to go first?
Bang bang. That was my knocking
Yeah,
sound.
I know.
Yeah, yeah.
I
Yeah.
was giving a delay because someone's not going to be waiting at the doors. You wait a few seconds, and then someone opens the door. Um, the door opens, you see it dazzling from inside that the golden abode seems to stretch beyond the limits of what the walls would suggest. You hear strange noises in the background, but the shadow realm, as always, has got weird sounds. But what catches you is the scent of like a rich, spiced meal kind of billowing out. This man is looking at you, and it just seems like a oddly normal guy. He's wearing beige slacks with a blue button up, with the sleeves rolled up. He's got short and curly brown hair and a perfect smile on his face. And he goes, "Welcome to my house of gold. You're just in time for dinner. You're coming in for dinner, right?"
What are we having?
Well, lots of things. We've got a tagine that's cooking in the kitchen, and then we've got all kinds of interesting accoutrements. In fact, I don't even know all the things because we have such these talented. And he kind of holds his hands out, and uh, his friends land or aloft on his hands and say, "Yeah, we're real good cooks too." They make something different every meal, so you should totally come in. It's going to be a meal you're not going to forget.
I turn to the other two and I give the gesture for like group huddle. Let's
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
We'll huddle up.
guys.
Yeah,
They're good.
boss, they're real weird. They've been like this the entire time. I don't.
Yeah, I don't want to be that guy, but are we
They're
really
gonna
gonna
eat
eat
us,
the?
right?
Yeah, I think
Or
so.
we're gonna eat their food and be trapped here forever.
One or the other.
This one
But
keeps looking to see I have pockets. I don't like it.
I think that we should go in and sit down at the table and make conversation and see what we can reconnoiter about what might have happened to the souls that are trapped.
Okay. So
Because our other option is to just bail, right?
we've come this far. We can't just bail now. I mean, we're in
Yeah.
too deep.
Yeah.
As you're standing here and the door is still being held open, each of you, as you are smelling the food that's coming in, it reminds you of your favorite childhood meal, like something that just like cuts to the core of you, like grandma's kitchen or PBJ's on the school bus. Real quickly, Casper, you were once a young kid. What's something that gets through your crusty old heart that just plucks at your heartstrings?
Those pot pies, those like little pot
Banquet,
pies. Yeah,
microwavable.
yeah, that would be it for Casper.
Yeah. It smells like one that doesn't even have freezer burn on it.
Oh
Or
man.
maybe in your case, just the right touch of freezer burn.
True story. I am a connoisseur of microwave cuisine, being a single fellow who lives alone, and I bought one of those not that long ago, and like ate it, and I was like, "Damn, that's good. Why don't I eat those all the time?" And then I looked at the box and I saw the calorie number, and I was horrified. I was
It's
like,
frightening.
"Yeah,
And it's a special thank you. Tox Commando has subscribed, so thank you for
oh yeah,
sharing the
thanks,
gift
thanks."
of Bezo bucks with us. It
Yes.
is very helpful for our operating costs. And as a quick little aside here, what about you, Sam? What was it that your parents made for you that just really speaks to you?
Oh, Hungarian goulash. Yeah. All that
I
paprika,
was gonna say
the
it.
cubed beef that's browned
Mhm.
before you put it into the stew, and then, like, the rich tomato. Yeah, yeah, goulash, definitely. My
You
parents are from the old country.
wonderful. And how about for you, Louise?
So it's pizza rolls, but they're not like baked or microwaved. They're deep fried pizza rolls that you then hit with like freshly grated Parmesan on top because why not? We're being fancy.
That
You
sounds
Never even
amazing.
considered that. Yeah.
Is that a real
Uh,
life Pashki food?
it is. And occasionally, like, you'll get the going way too far on stupid things. You get butter, you like crush some garlic, put that in the butter, you get the Parmesan cheese, you hit that on top of the pizza rolls after they're fried. Then some green onion on top of that as well, because you're fancy as fuck.
Little do you know that on our show, we actually have had two chefs in our cast, and I bet there's all kinds of wonderful things I haven't learned yet about Bridget, our wonderful guest for the day. But Casper, as all of you seem to kind of take this moment to really smell and bring this in, make me a mental check. You're going to be making a knowledge great roll for me, in essence.
Does that dish have a name, Pashki?
Pizza rolls.
Did you want to wager any dice on that roll, Casper?
I really should have. I didn't.
No, it's fine.
Yeah, I'm gonna wager. It didn't get any better. So yeah, I wagered one.
All right, then
So
the
it's
one
a
that you
1 and a
wagered,
4.
what did you roll? Because there is in the system there is like a stepwise. Even if you may not got a great number, it may indicate a
Okay.
yes but or a no and. So
Okay. All right. So it's a 1 and a 4.
a 1 and a 4. All right. So you have you're not familiar at all with you're just smelling pot pie and you're just mouth is watering. So as you're all kind of just glazed over, reminiscing, that man again, his smile never faltering, says again, "Won't you come in? You've come this far. It's late, and my friend said you haven't eaten. I could give you a tour of the house."
Ah, now we're talking.
I do
Um,
love tours.
I would absolutely love a tour of this amazing golden residence you have. When was this built? This is really extraordinary.
Oh, that's the thing. It's constantly being built. And he lets you in, and you see that in this foyer has two staircases that converge into an overlook, and you can see just beyond these large hallways on the sides doors into various rooms. You on the first floor, and are people going to be taking a quick tour because he's saying that dinner will be ready just momentarily.
mhm.
Um, but I'll give you a quick tour of the first floor, and oh heck, I'll show you a little bit all around, and then I'll have you over for dinner. So, as a quick montage, he guides you through the first floor. There are sprawling libraries. It's like you see a doorway, and then you look into it, and it's just rooms and spaces beyond. It's the TARDIS of mansions in a way. You see a billiards hall that has tons of different tables. There are people that are taking their time with trick shots. You see there's even this bowling alley that looks like it was just built, but it still has that bowling alley smell of too many old cigarettes and like chewing gum and whatnot.
Bud Light.
Yeah,
Bud
stale
Light,
beer.
exactly. And it even has that 90s kind of like carpet with that's just tacky, but just
Yeah.
mm,
A lot of polygons on that carpet.
exactly.
Do they have the cups with the blue swoosh on it?
Yes. That is exactly what it looks like. So, on the second floor is where things get even more outlandish. Um, the it takes you up a flight of stairs, and the first doorway, when you look inside of it, it's like you're looking at a large mountain vista, as if you were looking into one of those popular video games that people play online. That what is that? That's Rimmed Sky or whatever that is.
It's pronounced scrim.
I
Grim.
I heard rimmed, and that's all I.
You see people in what looks to be like a video game. There's health bars above their head fighting a dragon, and they have these like looks of just bliss on their face as they're just grinding for XP. Um, and the man starts showing him, is like, this place is full of wonders, and I have so much I can show you. In fact, none of you have even introduced yourselves to me, and where are my manners? Uh, my name is Ref.
Ref, is that short for anything?
No. But and you
Okay.
see like he hesitates for a second. Um do you want to push that with a social check or let that slide?
Yeah, you know what? I will, because I've been burning soul die, but I still got my social die, which is, let me see, one permanent, and I will wager one. So hang on one second. Where the hell did the other one get? There it is. All right, that's a 3 and a 4.
3 and a 4. Um so you you guys no, not of course. It- just plain old Ref.
And I'll respond,
Well, in that case, I'm just plain old Sam.
Sam, it's a pleasure. And the two of you?
If you're Ref, I'm Cass.
Cass. Pleasure. You look familiar. And you notice as you're looking in this video game world that there is like an actual the Gandalf, the full accoutrement with the scepter and everything.
Son of a bitch.
Like, I picture you as, instead of like the fancy wooden staff, you've just got like a busted ass tree branch from after a storm. Like, maybe not even with the other branches taken
Well,
off.
and you know,
of it.
Casper is totally that guy that if he just stopped looking so much like fucking Gandalf, people would stop saying it.
Yeah.
My headcanon is that you're the Gary Gygax from Futurama, like you're that Matt Groening
Yeah,
version. That is,
I roll before I tell you if I'm pleased to meet you. Yeah, that's me, 100%.
And Louise, you introduce yourself at all?
I believe you already know who I am. Your associates seemed to know my name earlier. That's how we came down here. But this is my friend. And then I kind of hold my hand up with my little pig guy from earlier.
Yes.
His name is Jeremiah Blackwater.
Perfect, yes. Excellent.
He can fly.
And he demonstrates that for a few seconds before he like, and this like plummets back into your gentle embrace and squeals contentedly.
That'd be me. See, like, I'd have the energy for a short burst of flying, and then I'd just be fucked. I'd fall. Like,
So as you get tour continues and you see more of these different types of rooms. The beyond that, you see an aquatic room where there are people that are surfing like a monster wave that never diminishes enough, nor is it too strong for someone to get knocked aside. Another room, you see that there's a quaint cove full of books. with a view out the window into a raining sky, kind of giving you that nice pitter patter in the background with little candles glowing softly in the distance. There's even one room where it's just nothing but a giant pile of gummy worms, and there is like a man with like really broad shoulders and too small of a head that's just like chewing his way like tunnels through it. Um, and Ref says, "You see, this place is a house of wonders, and what I'm doing here is I am building a community of bliss. People who join willingly into this community are given their own room where they can live in happiness and contentment forever. And I am just so glad to have you here. I'm hoping after dinner, maybe you will decide that you want to be a member of this community too, and I will give you your heart's desires." Um, and you feel a little bit of like a little bit of a pressure in the room, as if um, there's almost like a presence in your mind is trying to live not invasively too much, but just kind of almost scrape a little bit of your mind to get a little feel of what things might make you happy. It's almost like a warm hand just softly going over the folds of your brain. Just
Ah.
So smooth.
all of you can make me a mental roll to resist this effort if you choose.
Okay.
I'm gonna wager one die on that one too. Oh no, it's yep, that's Snake Eyes.
All right, so that means that oh wait, you've got wait, oh yeah, you waged to dice. You've gone ahead and lost that. And what else? Adding extra dice.
I rolled an 8 and then I rolled a 1.
Okay, well then you've got an 8. So you holding on to Jeremiah, you batten down the hatches across your brain, and you see Ref just kind of like wince a little bit as that feeling pulls out. What about you, Casper?
6 and 6.
All right.
Hell yeah.
So you feel the fingers questing, and at your mental defenses, you feel as if the touch is strong enough that it could punch through, but it seems to back off politely, almost apologetically. And he goes, "Oh, where are my manners? We should just talk of this over dinner. And we'll get you all acquainted. How about you go downstairs and join me in the kitchen? And I'll be there in just a few minutes. I have some other business to attend to. Feel free to peruse around here and see what this place has to offer. There's a room for all of you, and if there's not one yet, we'll build one for you."
I want to talk to Gummy Worm guy.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious about that, dude.
He's going through the gummy worms like a
worm.
worm.
It's like you went to what is like a mall galleria where it's like that bucket of gummy worms, but that's the room. It's just a bucket of gummy worms. Like the walls are even that plastic. Is when you stick your head in, you're just in a giant candy dish. Like you're like a miniature person in a giant candy cart, and he's just in the gummy worm container. Are you also entering there, Casper, or are you standing out in the hall?
I'm standing out in the hall because
Okay.
something about this is just not sitting right with me.
So the two of you stick your head in here, and you're just kind of overwhelmed with that sweet candy smell, and you see the guy like, "Hey!"
Hello,
Yeah.
come here. I wish to speak with you.
Yeah. What's up? Reference to when we played Alt New York's 88. Oh, what's up, guys?
How long have you been
As
here?
voices I had to do in a row. Sorry, everyone. What?
That's okay.
How long have you been here?
And there's this glazed look, and it's not just the sure amount of sugar and like the fruity aldehydes coming off of his
everything
breath.
on him has a glazed look, probably.
Probably he's covered in like sticky saliva from just chewing everything, and he goes, "Hi, I don't know. I just love eating gummy worms." And you see, like, there's like the person is really trying to think about it, as if they're just kind of lost in the euphoria of eating buckets and buckets of candy.
What did you do before you were here?
I don't, I don't know. Um, and like, there's like you see him think, and then he looks down, he sees more gummy, and he just starts eating more gummy worms.
Yeah,
It's-
it's the gummy worms of what was it, like lethe in Greek mythology?
um, and it's kind of like that. The person is really struggling to even try to engage you in conversation, as if the room itself is so much distraction, and there's just so much here that they're torn to even try to focus on you. Go ahead and make me whoever wants to really talk, make me a social test to see if you can really use the kind of authoritative power of your voice to make them focus in.
All right, I'll do it. Let's see. And I did a lot better that time. That's a 6 and a 7.
All right, yeah. So you kind of pierce through them, and you go, "Oh, hey, sorry, I." And you get to see like this giant, like this protuberance of like gummy worm, and just throws it down. Sorry about that. Hey, so sorry, you were saying something. Being here, yeah, I have been here for, I don't even know. I think I've been here for I've been here long enough. I forgot that I had a squeaky voice. Yeah, so I've been here for I've been here for I think it's 2 weeks now. It's great. You all the gummy worms you want. Actually, last week I was in just gummy bears, but I'm stepping my way up to the good stuff. I hear even that bin over there. There's even gummy sharks.
And I hope that this is just Charles talking. I hope that Gangsta works his way up to Gushers at some point, because that would be a very exciting room.
But
See,
what comes
that's what
after
Ref
Gushers?
Ref has said that, you can be here forever and you can have all the things that are good.
Okay, I think that we know what we need to know. Um, so I have a question in terms of like world building or the world of this game.
Yes.
Is there like I am oathbound, correct? So I like is there an authority that I report
Your
to?
parents were. You're not oath bound
Oh,
because
I
that's
see.
magical tradition.
You're
Now
an
the actual
oath-bound
oath bound is
byproduct.
Louise.
Okay, my sorry.
Yeah.
All right. As a caretaker, then, is there like any sort of caretaker guild or whatever that I report this kind of stuff to?
That is, so caretakers can either be like honorary members of things. So you are kind of an honorary member of the Oathbound. You're just not officially in the ranks. If so that would be probably who you would report that to. So do you step back out in the hall and rejoin Casper?
Yeah, for sure. And give Casper a full run.
There's a guy
Casper?
in there eating a lot of gummy worms, and I'm pretty sure that they're stealing souls in sort of a fool's paradise situation, sucking out soul energy in exchange for like one's greatest desires pried directly from one's mind. So like maybe we file a report or something.
I like that. Like Sam is just like, this is great. I
Sam
love
was
your
using paperwork.
analysis.
Yeah, yeah.
Thanks.
So
Yeah.
my thought is, I'm thinking that we're going to have to make the people on the other side understand what's happening here and believe us. I think we should go check out that book room, because I
Yeah.
have a feeling that we might find someone named Paige in there.
Ooh, good point.
All right.
That's yeah.
I think that's a sound strategy.
Where's Luis right about? Has he joined Gummy Worm Guy?
Luis is just like in there, like covered in gummy worms.
In there
Well,
with his Pegasus.
How many gummy worms can I pick from the guy's pocket And at that, like, following that resolution, I would then come up from behind them and just like, I can just open another door, right? And we just shove people back to the real world. Is that what
So
we want to do?
Yeah, I mean, like, I think if we did
We're
that
gonna
with
rip them
Paige,
out of
that would work.
happiness and put them back in their real world.
Yeah.
So would you
Yeah.
stick your hands into the guy's pockets? You like just take out a giant wad, like it sticks to your hands. They're half chewed gummy worms and gummy bears, and like there's
I'm
a
so
couple of like
horrified by this.
non-Perels, like snow caps, and they're stuck to you. And he goes, "Yeah, I keep them there for later, just in case I get hungry."
That was going to be my joke.
I don't understand why he went for the pockets. I mean, there's more worm than there is pocket at this point. You could just take the worms.
Look,
Look.
there's not much that I know how to do with this character, but the one thing I know what to do, pick pockets.
I mean, and create an adorable Pegasus. That's
Yeah,
something
the
to see.
Pegasus
That,
is
yeah.
Your
Yeah.
Pegasus is also just like slurping worms like spaghetti.
I mean, they're probably
So-
like that big for him, so he's just
So now there were two book rooms in here, the one on the second floor and then one down in the lower the first floor. Which one were you wanting to go into?
definitely the first floor.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna follow Casper at this point. Back their play.
Casper, though, you've been standing outside that room for so long that the secondhand gummy worm vapor is definitely raised your blood sugar to some dangerous levels. So
yeah.
at some point you're gonna have to readjust your insulin. But so you get back down to the first floor and you step into that library, and instantly you go through that threshold, and you can smell that paper and the binding of books, and you just get, this is your realm, like this is your home, and you feel like a deep longing. Go ahead and so you're looking for a book before some information.
I was looking for a person in here.
Oh,
Yeah,
a
There's nobody
person.
in here.
Paige, the missing lover
Yes,
of the forlorn library man.
So you get oddly enough, as if there's plenty of candy like smell now coming from Louise, since he's covered in gummy worm stuff, and his pig is covered in gummy worm stuff. But
Wait,
you
so
still
hang on. Louise looks. You said you look like John Leguizamo in The Pest, right?
yeah.
Was that? Remind me what facial hair he had in that. Was that mustache and goatee?
I think I
Oh,
recall
thanks.
his goatee.
Yeah.
Bridget,
So, like,
Bridget, do you remember? I haven't seen it in like 3 years, so
I'm just trying to picture what he has gummy worms stuck to on his face.
Yeah, I was saying there's probably some serious facial hair issues here.
well, he does have like a Fu Manchu, but made out of gummy worms. So maybe that counts. So you smell this cloying smell of cotton candy. Go ahead, just as a free mental roll me a quick check, will you, Casper, and see if you just identify that smell.
5.
Yeah, so you identify this as the smell of creatures that are associated with the ascendancy. And so you know that there's something else kind of at work here. You see a woman that is poring over a large tome that is wearing a green and orange dress.
Hmm.
She looks very much like the one person out of that portrait.
Yeah.
Burnt scrolls for jewels. I'm still trying to figure out that coat of arms. Like, I'm usually like fairly good with semiotics.
Do you want to make that as a check, Sam?
Like my mental is not great, but sure. You know
can
what?
always do
I'm
this
gonna go
one.
ahead and wager 2 gold dice on that roll. So
Well, there we go. Because we are close to time, and you can
Yep.
burn things.
that's a 7, a 2, and the
Perfect.
last one is a 6.
So those are telltale signs of being aligned with the Hellseekers. That the charred scrolls kind of give that infernal knowledge. People like powers insinuated with that. So you know that person would be a strong a dabalist or some type of occultist, or even perhaps a demon, depending on some of the more subtle meanings of it. So do you communicate that to Casper?
Yeah.
All right. So Casper, you see this person and you want to engage them.
Yeah, I mean, I'm also affiliated with the Hell Seekers. We can do a sub bra kind of moment here. I could.
Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna. I don't even know if I need to do like a sheep's clothing because maybe I know the handshake.
Yeah. So when you come over to this woman, she immediately locks eyes with you, and she says, "Hail, sister," or I mean, in a softer, more feminine voice.
By the way,
Hail, sister.
the
What?
Hellseeker handshake is just,
Just like this.
yeah. You take the horns and
Yeah, lock horns.
yeah,
Yeah.
lock horns.
So I give her the
Like,
the locked horns handshake.
So, uh, my name is Mariak, or I was known as Mary Bellick in my former life, and I was trying to get you at the library before those creatures took you. So I'm sorry that we have to meet here. Um, we're in you're in a bit of I wouldn't say that you're in danger, but you could be in danger here. Um, you see, all of this is a sham. This is, I mean, she wants to seem like she wants to tell you more, but it's like there's something compelling her not to. You see her teeth clamp down as she tries to tell you some type of bit of information. It almost seems to make her old features even a little bit more tired and haggard as she kind of tries to fight against it.
all right, I'm gonna spend the first of my actual rather than soul die on one more routine presence to kind of give that extra push for her to fess up.
All right. And so you're burning into your soul dice and you really kind of pull out the strength and you pull this out of her and you feel as you do there's something grating, almost hard and rigid and metallic in the feeling of the psychic vibe as you kind of pull this out. And she goes, Ref is short for Refusiel, the demon of master of tricks. So she's kind of haltingly providing this information. This is all a trap. It's a ploy. It's a trick. This house, all of this, it's he is taking souls. He's trying to break the veil and join the ascendancy, and he needs your souls and the souls of all the other people who haven't committed yet to make the final push through.
Cool. I
I mean,
mean, not cool in character. I'm just personally a big fan of diabolism.
and I just, I didn't want to be like told you so, but yeah, that was kind of where I saw this going. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is
So you
there any
guys,
way out of here?
Unironically, she says, the front door.
Okay, so we can just leave.
You can leave, but those who have already given their soul are bound here. And when he parts the veil, it will burn all of their souls. All of them will die the final death.
Double cool. All right.
Thank you very much for your contribution to the cause of balance between the powers. I think we're gonna get the fuck out of here.
Oh no, fuck balance. I want revenge. I want my power back. He has stolen my power. This ref, he was my protege, or I was his protege, and he's turned the tables, and you have to destroy the heart. If you destroy the heart, I can be free. I can go back to being my former self, the fiend of revelry, and I will make Ref pay, but I am bound until then.
I mean, I'm bowdy about the demon of revelry. That sounds
Yeah,
dope
I
as
was gonna say
hell.
I'm team revelry too.
Yeah.
So yeah.
She goes, sometimes to make balance, you need to make things a little bit unbalanced, right? Maybe
You
we
know,
can make
truer.
things good for both our parties here.
That thing about balance sometimes meaning unbalance is literally something my parents told me growing up. So like I'm down with that. You said destroy the heart.
Yeah, it's in the attic.
Okay.
Stairs.
More stairs.
You hear this like squealing as you realize that Jeremiah has consumed the rest of the gummy worms and has no more gummy worms to eat.
Little guy. Do I have anything in my inventory I can feed him? No.
He's fine. He's being a little porker. Just leave him alone. Let's move on. So upstairs.
Yeah,
Yes.
sounds like we're going upstairs.
Yeah.
Is there any
yeah.
chance there's an elevator in here?
She says, if you give your soul, it'll
Okay,
make
no,
an
not worth it.
elevator.
All right, fine. We'll take
Yeah.
the stairs.
Jeremiah, do you have a soul? It'd be really cool of you right now if you made us an elevator buddy.
You're gonna sacrifice our Pegasus?
Don't do that to Pegasus. We'll
If it
carry Casper up the
I
stairs.
can make another one.
And you can also make one of your own, Casper.
I can. Mine's not a Pegasus, but
What would it be?
mine actually looks kind of like a Care Bear,
Oh,
but with a human face. It's really kind of
Oh,
off-putting. Yeah.
yeah.
That's
Okay.
why I
true
didn't
story-
call him,
True story of the evening. I had a friend who was an art student a long time ago, and their thing was taking stuffed animals like that and then taking the faces off of baby dolls and doing exactly that, like giving little baby doll faces to like stuffed tigers and stuffed bears and shit. And it was creepy and awesome. And I have photos that I'll share with the
Please
group
do
at some
later.
point.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That needs to be a thing.
yeah.
So you eventually get up to the attic. You're hearing the sounds of crunching, like Pop Rocks plus Rice Krispie treats plus like knuckles being cracked over and over.
Oh,
And
that's
you
really
realize
nice.
it's Casper just lumbering up the
Yeah.
stairs.
Oh,
There's no cartilage left in these knees. It's just
You can hear the gout crunch with every step.
oh, God.
awful.
When you get to the attic, you you start to hear the sound of something flittering, almost as if there is a hummingbird stuck in a cage, being frantically bashing itself against the walls.
See, I was hoping for a lub dub or a glump glump, but hummingbird heart's pretty cool too. Do any of us have any weapons?
Look, I'm a scholar, not a fighter.
And I'm a caretaker, and I don't even have a rake. I don't think.
I mean, I've got my knife.
Okay, yeah, all right, that'll do it.
One destiny token.
I do too.
So
I have
all of
one of
you-
those too. Yeah.
All of you have that. It's basically an auto pass for
Yeah.
a check. So when you open up the door, or are you opening up this door to the attic, or are you
You
still
betcha.
strategizing?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go see what that sound is.
I actually have an item that I totally forgot about. Treated as close one. Okay, never mind. All they do is bring stuff closer. Never mind. I have some magic suspenders. They bring stuff closer.
And I wonder if our feed is frozen. It looks frozen. Oh, nope, that's just me. Never mind.
Yeah.
Don't do that to me.
So I was gonna say after this whole thing, it froze for an ad. Give us those Bezo bucks. So
That's right.
and we're almost there at time anyways. But
We're
when
pretty
you-
much at time, yeah.
So we'll just dramatically pause here. I wanted to maximize our time since we've had a challenge of things, and we can make some quick announcements.
Yeah.
So you open the door and you see that Rep is standing there, and by his side is Marioc. Marioc has this glazed over look over her eyes, which seems to be kind of a running theme for here. And you see that how she is now, she's rigid and almost looks like she's a marionette under the strong and commanding gaze of Reth. I invited you to dinner. You should have taken me to dinner. He looks up at this thing flittering around on the rafters, and it's the golden heart very much a golden flying object, like a heart locket with wings. And he grabs at it and holds it, and he goes, "You can choose to join here, but I'm not going to let you bring this operation down. You're either going to give your souls, or I'm going to kill you and take them the hard way. So which one is it going to be? And if you don't want to come nicely, I've got some hostages that might just make you come and see my side of things. I'm going to make it my way to the ascendancy, whether you like it or not. I have plans." And yes, the goulash was delicious, and you missed out.
It had that good, expensive paprika, like that actually from Hungary.
Fresh and
Mm.
smoked.
Yes.
Give him Sam and Luis and me and the Pegasus. The Pegasus, we'll get out of here.
Yeah.
All you need to do is just say, "My heart is yours." And
So I was reading over my weapon. Can I walk up to him and like act like I'm gonna give him a hug? Because my blade looks like a small little knife until I wield it, and then it becomes big and turns into a sword.
Cool.
that it is.
So could I like come up and like, hey, yeah, let's hug it out. I'm sorry. And then I just like, get close enough, pull it out, and have it like go to full size right into his head.
Yeah, like you could have it in your pocket and then like put one arm around him and then just like shlink and give him the old, 1, 2, and through and through.
As our closing scene, that is what happens. Kind of, you have this dramatic pan out of the camera. You get the wide shot. You see that Louise is walking and approaching to Ref as if to embrace. Camera zooms in. You pull that packet knife, and then you have that shink sound. Give me that shink again.
Shink.
As it goes through part of his skull.
Nice.
It doesn't cause that smile to falter. That broad, charismatic smile, it somehow gets wider, and it extends as if his whole head's almost being bisected by that smile. His teeth elongate. You hear the sound of bone crunching, not just from the skull punching or the knife puncturing his skull, but his limbs begin to elongate. He pulls you into that embrace, and you feel talons prick your flesh, and you hear him whisper in your ear, "You're done fucked up, buddy."
Guys,
And-
run.
and we'll pause there. So we'll have it kind of as a cliffhanger to invite people to buy the adventure and see how you play this out. There are, of course, lots of different ways to handle some of these solutions, but as a this game, as you could buy currently now for $10, that comes with the bestiary and the introductory module and the rule set itself. So I know that you wanted to give a shout out on behalf of John. Would you like to go ahead and make that, Charles?
Yeah, so the reason that our esteemed Mr. Baltusberger is not with us this evening is that he is neck deep in Games Done Quick, or GDQ, or hashtag GDQ 2023 on Twitter or anywhere else. Games Done Quick is a speed run for charity event. You can tune in, you can donate. Just like tuning in helps support them. They raise like millions of dollars for charity every year. I'm not sure what specific charity they're doing right now, but their drives in the past have been exceptionally successful and have gone to like disaster relief and food funds and stuff like that. So if you are into speed runs of like games from all the way back from like 8-bit to like modern times, you can find their schedule online. Just Google Games Done Quick fundraiser, and you can watch the live room there. You can see what their schedule of games is and who their streamers are, et cetera, et cetera. In fact, I think it was last year we actually dedicated our stream here at Wandering Monster to just like doubling theirs so that we could boost the event. But this year we're continuing on with our games. So that was Doctors and Demons from Magic Cat. Thank you very much to everybody who tuned in This game is available on our the link to it rather is available on all of our socials: IG, Facebook, Twitter, any place that you can find us. It'll be in the show notes when we post this on YouTube. It will also be in the show notes when we have it up on various podcast sites. And do any of you guys have any cool stuff coming up you want to tell the fine people of Earth about?
I have a story coming out on January 25th in a
Hell yeah.
collection of 90s horror called Ah. Now that's what we call horror.
Nice.
And yeah, so take a look at that
Cool.
everywhere books are sold. Yeah.
That's great. Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say I've got some Kickstarters that'll be announced in a little bit. There we put a teaser out for Metromancer, which is going to be part of the next Zine Quest, and it is a really neat subway crawl for
Yeah.
Cyborg. So a lot of really cool stuff coming out for that. There is going to be a teaser book we're going to be putting out soon, just so you can see sample class, sample monsters, and some other stuff. So excited to show that collaboration off.
And for myself, I will have another novel coming out in June from Madness Art Press called He Led Us into the Wilderness and Spoke to Us. It's my cosmic horror story about Jonestown. I think it's one of the better things I've written, so stay tuned for that. In addition, you can find Wandering Monster content. You can catch up with our back catalog on YouTube at tinyurl.com/OneMoncast. You can find us on Twitter at OneMoncast. You can find us wherever fine pods are cast, on YouTube. And if you would like, subscribe, interact, tell your friends, punch somebody and scream our name and then run away. Do whatever you can do to signal boost the show. And, Bridget Brave, thank you so much for guesting on the show tonight. And maybe we'll be seeing more of you in the future.
I would love that. I love being with you guys. It's great.
Oh,
Yeah, we had a great time. And with that, John always ends this show with some sort of funny catchphrase, but in my case, I'm just gonna say, do crime, be gay, hail Satan.
wait, hold up. I am disappointed you did not start singing Rainbow Connection. I'm going to
find it. The rainbow connection. The lovers, the dreamers.
It's
and
uncanny.
me.
We're definitely going to get sued.
Oh, shoot. Oh, dang
That
it.
that was short enough.
We'll send the Hensons a nice bag of gummy worms over there
I've
and make
got
peace.
those skinny legs on my weird bicycle.
Thank you for joining us for this consensual journey that we
journey.
call Wandering Monster. I have been Ian Servas.
I have been Charles R. Bernard.
I'm still Bridget Brave.
I have been frustrated with my computer all day.
That is true.
Yeah.
We'll see you
We'll see you next week.
for Pan, His Majesty in Yellow.